Son, Yahushua Messiah, we come before you, Father. We ask you, Yahuwah, that this word may go forth, Father Yahuwah, that he may soften their hearts, that they may receive it, Father Yahuwah, that you break the stronghold, Father, of this great deception, that people may return back to your covenant. In the name of Yahushua Messiah, we pray. And right now we're going to go to Exodus 31, starting at verse 12. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, And you speak to the children of Israel, saying, My Sabbath you are to guard by all means, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, to know that I, Yahuwah, am setting you apart. You shall guard the Sabbath, for it is set apart to you. Everyone who profanes it shall surely be put to death. For anyone who does work on it, that being should be cut off among his people. 6 days work is done, and on the seventh the Sabbath of rest, set apart to Yahuwah. Everyone doing work on the Sabbath day shall certainly be put to death. And the children of Israel shall guard the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout the generations as an everlasting covenant. Between me and the children of Israel is a sign forever. For in 6 days, key word, 6 days, Yahuwah made the heavens and the earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Okay, as we see now, once again, the Sabbath is a sign between us and Yahuwah. Remove that, we're not his. See what I'm saying? Because it all, like a domino effect. If we have the spirit of Yahuwah in us, automatically we're going to recognize the Sabbath. We're going to want to grab hold of it. Not only anything to take it away from us. Yahushua is our salvation. He is the Word, the Torah made manifest. So basically it's saying, like, if he's the Torah manifest in the flesh, then that also means too that he also upholded the Sabbath as well. He said, not one jot, one tittle should be done away until all is fulfilled. He says, also one thing I come to destroy the law and the prophets, but fulfill. You see what I'm saying? So basically, if he didn't fulfill it, it ain't been fulfilled yet. So that means the Sabbath still stands, which means there's a certain type of Sabbath that we keep, a 7-day Sabbath. Not being told by the moon. Nowhere in Scripture can anyone show or prove that the Sabbath is kept by a moon. That it says particularly, every time you keep the Sabbath, keep it by a moon. There's none whatsoever.
You look at what he said in the Torah. He said if anyone was working on the Sabbath, it will be put to death. You understand the magnitude? So it's like we have to get this day right. Because if we were in the old times, we would be put to death. The person that was gathering sticks, he get put to death. And so I mean, this thing is serious. You know, so if you are keeping the lunar Sabbath and you say it's on a Tuesday and it's floating, next week is Wednesday, and then you're working on the real Sabbath, the wages of sin is death.
Yahuwah said, seek me and live, to the house of Israel. So if we truly seeking him, he will guide us to all truth. You know, and we don't have to go to man or go to a certain type of book to find what the Sabbath is. Just read the word and pray for knowledge, wisdom, understanding through Yahushua Messiah. He will guide you. Yahushua said, you know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And where the Son sets free, they should be free indeed.
So right now we want to get into some historical evidence that the Scriptures is our ultimate authority, but there's also other truths that Yahuwah has set in place that confirms his word.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want to get into what the lies are out there and what the truth is concerning the Sabbath.
As we can see here, this is what a major stumbling block is right here to a lot of people. This Universal Jewish Encyclopedia. And what it says right here makes a lot of people go into, oh no, you know, it's got to be a lunar Sabbath now, because it was written here in the encyclopedia. It says, Sabbath and new moon, Rosh Chodesh, both periodically recurring in the course of the year. The new moon is still, and the Sabbath originally was, dependent upon the lunar cycle. Both date back to the nomadic period of Israel. Originally, the new moon was celebrated in the same way as the Sabbath. Gradually, it became less important, while the Sabbath became more and more a day of religion and humanity, of religious meditation and instruction, of peace and delight of the soul, and produced powerful and beneficial effects outside of Judaism. Okay. Somebody to me is somebody that doesn't know anything about Israel. Okay, so it looks like they're trying to categorize us with any type of moon worshipping religion or nation, like Babylon, for instance. Okay, so but as we look at also the data's encyclopedia, it's in the 1700s. The 1700s. So as we go back in here, we're going to go back further and see how it really was kept. You see what I'm saying? We're going to go right back further into history and see what Sabbath was kept originally.
Brother Yasmin was just saying that the Universal Jewish Encyclopedia, which was the 1700s, had an account of the Sabbath originally being a lunar Sabbath, which means that the Sabbath was based upon the moon. Okay, let's go back a little bit further than that and see what was the case. Now, a lot of people use this point and they say that in 1582 that the calendar days were changed, thus, you know, nobody really originally knows that the Sabbath day was, you know, quote unquote Friday evening to Saturday evening. And they say since the change happened that it threw in course the week, and it changed the week. I have a quote right here up from James Robertson, one of the directors from the Naval Department of U.S. Naval Observatory. And this is what he says: there has been no change in our calendar in the past centuries that has affected in any way the cycle of the week. There has been no change. The days of the week, 1 through 7, have not been affected all the way back to Adam. And that's a lot of a truth that people don't want to realize. But let's go back even further. Let's go back even further than this. We go back and we look at what happened in 321 AD. March 7, 321 AD, Constantine said, "Let all the judges and the townspeople and the occupations of all trades rest on the venerable day of the sun." So he makes the first edict, the first law, either ecclesiastical or civil, by which the sabbatical observation of Sunday is known to have been ordained, is the Edict of Constantine, signed March 7, 321 AD. And so this right here shows you that he changed it to the Sunday. And as we know, that the pagans added every day they named after one of their mighty ones. And so Saturday was the mighty one, Saturn. So that kind of gives you a hint. Now, I remind you, we just read a quote that was from 321 AD.
Okay, right now we're going to read an account from 70 through 84 Common Era. Okay, and this is an account from the Roman soldier named Frontinus, written in 84 Common Era. It says, "The defied Augustus Vespasian attacked the Jews on the day of Saturn, a day on which it is sinful for them to do any business." Okay, like Brother Yahushua was saying a couple seconds ago, that they had changed the pagan day. Well, they made the Sabbath a pagan name, as in Saturn. So here, according to the Gentiles, it was considered a Saturn day, but to us it was a sacred day, the Sabbath day. And here he also says too that was sinful for us to do any business on this day. So you know exactly what day he's talking about. We know, us as Sabbath keepers, we know how to do our own business on that day. Okay, and there's more. Now we also go to an account written by Cassius Dio, written in 63 before Common Era. He says, "Most of the city, to be sure, he took without any trouble, as he was received by the party of Hyrcanus. But the temple itself, which the other party had occupied, he captured only with difficulty. For it was on high ground and was fortified by a wall on its own, and if they had continued defending it on all days alike, he could not have got possession of it. As it was, they made an excavation of what are called the days of Saturn, and by doing no work at all in those days, afforded the Romans an opportunity to interval to batter down the wall. The latter, on learning this superstitious awe of theirs, made no serious attempts the rest of the time, but on those days, when they came round in succession, assaulted most vigorously. Thus the defenders were captured on the day of Saturn without making any defense, and all the wealth was plundered. The kingdom was given to Hyrcanus, and Aristobulus was carried away." Okay, so we see here that no other day could they overtake the Yahudim, quote unquote, what they call Jews, unless it was on particularly what they called the Saturn day, but we know it was a Sabbath day. So the only way they could attack it was on that day, because we didn't do anything on that day but rested. This is an account about the 70 Common Era destruction in Jerusalem. He said, this was Jerusalem destroyed on the very day of Saturn, the day which even now the Jews reverence most. From that time forth, it was ordered that the Jews who continued to observe their ancestral customs should pay an annual tribute of 2 denarii to Jupiter Capitoline. In consequence of this success, both generals received the title of Imperator, but neither got that of Judicus, although all the other honors that were fitting on the occasion of so magnificent a victory, including triumphal arches, were voted to him. So there we go again. It says that they acknowledge that we as Yahudim acknowledge the Sabbath the most. And it also says too that they attacked us on the Sabbath. So it seemed like these nations were aware of what our rest day was. They always try to attack us on this day. Okay, it's done by historian Cornelius Tacitus. And he writes, they are said to have devoted the 7 days of rest because that day brought an end to their troubles. Later, finding idleness alluring, they gave up the 7th year as well to sloth. Others maintain that they do this in honor of Saturn, either because their religious principles are derived from the Adi, who are supposed to have been driven out with Saturn and become the ancestors of the Jewish people, or else because of the 7 constellations which govern the lives of men. The star of Saturn moves in the topmost orbit and exercises peculiar influence, and also because most of the heavenly bodies move around their courses in multiples of 7. He's saying that we're honoring, out of ignorance, he's saying that we're honoring Saturn. You know, it is their rest, but we all know that Saturday, which you trace it back further, go back to the Sabbath day.